So from the BICB's point of view, let's just run through. Can you just give at a high level what the BICB does in terms of its functionality?
All right. Well, just to give you a little bit of the background to it, it started about 100 years ago. We don't know exactly the date, but we think it was around 1919. Started by a group of timber merchants in Brisbane that got together. They got the idea from the United States, and that organisation that they pitched the idea from still exists today in the United States. It started around 1906, 1907, and it's called BCIA, or BICA, Building Industry Credit Association, and we became the Building Industry Credit Bureau. So ostensibly it was a group of timber merchants that used to meet periodically and talk about who they were trading with. You know, are they paying their bills? And that's where it started, and it continued in that vein for a number of years. It became an unincorporated association, and then in 1962 it was incorporated, and we run as the same legal structure these days as a not-for-profit public company. So because we're a not-for-profit, ASIC give us this special dispensation to drop the word limited out of our title. So instead of being Building Industry Credit Bureau Limited, we're just Building Industry Credit Bureau. So we're basically an organisation that exists to provide services for its members. The members own the business, and they incur a liability of $1 if it all goes pear-shaped at some time. So it started out life, you know, just as that meeting thing, and then they started to add some technology to it. When I first started becoming a user of BICB in 1990, we were getting packages of these microfiche every month, which I'm glad those days are over. It would be a pain to try and package those things up every month. So that's the way it was. We'd get this package of stuff, and we'd view it on these little plastic sheets on a microfiche reader, and we'd have to write all the information down. And but then it advanced into the modern age, where we developed an online database system for our members in the early millennium. So around about 2001, 2002, I believe, that all came on board. Might have even been a little earlier than that, but that was the basis of the online database system then. And when I took over, it was still the same format as the original format, which was pretty good, better than it used to be. But I decided that we really did need to improve our offering to our members, and we needed to go from ostensibly a Queensland-based, Northern Territory-based, Northern New South Wales and into Victoria, right across the nation. Because there's no other organisation that does what we do on a national basis. There was another organisation in Sydney, and it still operates today, but again, it's only looking after New South Wales. So we were able to do that because we improved the way we loaded our data. It was a barrier to us in the past, so we had to improve the way we actually loaded that data from our members. And it's a massive amount of data that we get every month. It's hundreds of thousands of records. So we did that, and that enabled us to then launch ourselves nationally, and that happened about 5 or 6 years ago now. And we developed the database system quite extensively during that time, and I worked with a committee of members on that. Some of those members might even be tuning in today. So it was me coming up with some thought bubbles, and I'd write them down, and I'd throw them at the committee, and they'd give me a critique on my idea, whether it was good or bad. I think most of them got through. There was a couple of bad ones that didn't make it through. So that process was a cooperative type process. It was always, you know, engaging with our members. I didn't want to invent something or create something that nobody wanted. So it had to be in conjunction with our members that used the system. And that was a very, very good process to work through.